Okay, today we will be looking at the 1858 Remington Army 44 caliber black powder pistol. This is a Pieta reproduction. Going to go through the basic disassembly, reassembly, my personal ideas or tips for a smoother trigger, and first and foremost, not a professional, so if you do anything I do and injure yourself, I'm not liable. Number two, make sure the gun is always unloaded. As you can see, there are no caps on this cylinder. So, leave the hammer on half cock, very simple. Drop your ram a little bit. We'll first take out the loading arm screw. Okay, very important. Make sure you have the correct size of screwdriver. These little screws don't really have much of a tolerance. Now, remove your arm, hold your cylinder, pull your pin. Any confusion, the flat side goes down towards the trigger frame, okay? Rotate your cylinder out. Here we have a loaded cylinder with no caps. Alright. Now, our next step will be to take off the grip and remove the hammer spring underneath. So we'll whiz through that right quick. One side, two side. Now you will go ahead and drop your hammer like so. Now here's your tension screw for the 1858. Just go ahead and loosen it. You don't have to take it all the way out, just good and loose, enough to where you can slide the spring, the bottom of the spring, out toward you. Okay, and obviously that one needs a little more. So there's our hammer spring. It comes out. Flip it over, remove the one screw for the trigger guard. Next, we will remove our trigger spring. Very short threaded screw, so you can just turn the pistol over. I'm just doing this to keep it all on camera. That'll pop right out. Okay, you have two screws, trigger, and for your hammer. This also holds your cylinder lock, which is right here. It comes through. So go ahead and take that out. Also, once again, very important, never over tighten black powder pistols. There's no need, there's not enough pressure. Go ahead and pull your piece down. Now, here's the aggravating one. The only reason I say that is once you remove the hammer screw, you want to push it down towards your trigger guard. And you'll see this teeny tiny screw head here. That is for your cylinder arm. I'll change out screwdriver heads to remove it. See, very tiny little screw. Alright, once you have that out, just grab the cylinder arm, pull it out, pull your hammer up. Ta-da. Now, while you have it down this far, go ahead and clean everything that you wish to do, and we're going to go ahead and reassemble now. I like to lubricate with, once again, with boar butter. I do not use modern lubricants, so I will get this lubed up and we'll put it back together. Okay, quick tip. If you want to have a more crisp trigger, take the head of your trigger here. You can see it forms a sear, and you can take a stone and some oil, and just kind of, you want to shape it to where it's nice and polished on the top. You don't want too much. I know personally this one's close, so I'm not going to do too much to it. But the main smoothness of the trigger comes from a good polished trigger. So, alright, we'll go ahead and start with reassembly. I've got the hammer and the cylinder arm lubricated up well. We'll just slide our hammer in, push it down to where we can connect our cylinder arm, and it goes on the right side of the frame as you're holding the gun. You'll see a cutout for it. Get that one lined up. Oop. Bore butter's still on my hands. It kind of sticks to it. Another very, very important part to lube very generously is your cylinder rod here, especially the end where it goes back into the frame. We'll lube that up real good before we put it back in. Okay, so actuator arm is back in place. Pull your trigger up, and we'll go back with the pin. Two-finger tight. Boop. Alright. Flip that over. We'll go ahead and drop in our, I've always called this the cylinder lock. Slide that forward to where it falls in this square hole. Oh, can be kind of aggravating. There we go. If you cock the hammer, you'll see it falls in. So while you're pushing down, just pull back on your hammer. That'll help it. Just kind of line that up. Now it shares the same screw with the trigger, which also hugs the left side of the frame up top as it's laying on its side. So slide that in. Looks pretty lined up there. We'll go back with the beautiful. Oh yeah. Alright, trigger's reassembled. Now for the trigger spring. Previous videos you've seen me. I'll take a little bit of the bend out of these. Not too much though. I mean, it's spring steel, you can't go too dramatic, but it's less pressure applied on the trigger. Beautiful, trigger came forward. All right. Reinstalling the trigger guard. Beautiful. Alright, now here is my opinion of the most important part of your hammer, your action, all of it. Slide your spring back in, okay? Now you'll notice the hammer is not closed. This was another one that when I got it, even with caps on the nipples, it would fall with so much force, the hammer would, that it would deface the nipples. So once again, I'll go till the hammer closes. That'll work. Okay. Beautiful. Alright. Next, we'll simply put the grips on. Oh yeah. That is completely personal, your strength of the hammer. I go until the hammer closes plus a 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn more. So feel free to experiment with that. See what you personally like. Now, as I said, be very generous with this. Make a mess, do whatever you have to. One of the most important things right there. Alright, now we're ready for the cylinder. Half cock. Then with that lubricated pin, just like a new one. Hope you enjoyed it, and happy shooting.